Hello, my name is Jason Miller, and my project is on an upgraded version of custom orthotics for flat-footed people.
For a little bit of background, what are flat feet? They're a deformity where there is little to no arch support, and roughly 10 to 25% of adults are affected with some sort of flat foot. It is a relatively painless deformity, but orthotics are needed because they correct the foot alignment, they alleviate chronic pain in feet, knees, hips, or the back, and prevents future injuries. Now, I started this project by researching state-of-the-art orthotics that are on the market and then comparing those to ones that are for flat feet specifically. First up are the full-length orthotics, which are great for flat-footed people, but the biggest issue is that they do not fit in all shoes. Um, so for these, what you need to do is you need to take out the existing insert in the shoe and replace them with these. Now, for the top one, which is from Foot Solutions, they use a 3D scan of a standing impression, which is not great for flat feet. And for the bottom one, that is from Ontario Orthotic Lab. They use a 3D scan of the foot in a neutral position, which is the best way to do a scan for flat feet. Next up, we have the half-length orthotics, and these are great because they do fit in most shoes. So for the top one, it's from Pettyfix, but these are not custom fitted, so they're not going to provide the optimal amount of arch support for someone with flat feet. These are based off of male or female and the shoe size. The middle is from Piedmont Lab, and they also use an impression mold, which, as previously stated, is not good for flat feet. And lastly is from Sheep Feet, and they also use an impression mold or a 3D scan using an iPhone. The issue with the 3D scan using your iPhone is they do have you put the phone on the ground and you're using the front-facing camera, which is not the best for details. The other thing about these is that you have to remove the existing insert out and then put a flat one in order to put these on top of them. So as previously mentioned, we have the impression scan. Now on the right side, we have someone who has the proper amount of arch support, and as you can see, the hot spots are the ball of the foot and the heel of their foot. Um, but on the left side, we have someone who has flat feet, and when you do an impression scan of a foot that is weight bearing, this is what it's going to turn out. So when you're making custom inserts, it's not the best, and it's hard to get an insert that'll correct the deformity rather than just support the deformity. I would have liked to play this video for you, but it didn't seem to want to play when I recorded this the first time. So here is a 3D scan using your iPad and some sort of camera accessory. Um, Now, as you can see, the picture is going to be a lot more detail. And in the next picture, you're going to see what the final product would look like. Here we have the final result of the foot scan, and we would be able to 3D print a mold of the foot based off of this.
Next up, we have the proposed design.
So for the proposed design, we wouldn't be exactly creating anything new. We would be combining a bunch of pre-existing product processes to improve on what's already out there. Um, and in order to do that, we would be using the iPad 3D scan method with the camera accessory, and then creating a 3D printed mold of the foot based off of the scan, and using Piedmont Labs process to create a vinyl orthotic or some other highly durable material. And then only the heel to the met would be supported, which is the heel of the foot to right before the ball of the foot.
For my version of the upgraded orthotics, I came up with this design, and I did not realize at the time that this design is flawed in that it moves around in the shoe because the heel is not supported and therefore not holding the orthotic in place. To start off with my design, I used my own custom orthotic, which was created using a 3D iPad scan. I made a mold of that in order to make my own version. I then used that mold to make these prototypes out of epoxy and used epoxy putty because it was pliable and hardens fairly quickly and becomes highly durable. First, I made a left and a right foot version that when weight was applied outside of the shoe, the left one broke, and that told me it was too thin and I needed to go a little bit thicker, and caused me to create this version, which is slightly thicker and holds weight better. But it wasn't until I tested this version in a shoe that I realized that the heel needed to be supported as well. Um, as you can see, the orthotics does go inside a shoe, um, but it does shift around, as I previously mentioned, because the heel is not supported and therefore not on the back of the shoe. Um, the biggest thing about this is that not all dress shoes allow you to remove the original insert, in which place you need something to go on top of it. And this, again, does go on top of it and also provided optimal amount of arch support without making the shoe feel like it's a little too tight.
Now, if I were to continue this project for the future work, first thing I would do is acquire the necessary equipment for the iPad 3D scan, which would include the camera accessory, and then create a 3D printed mold of the foot for better accuracy, and create an updated prototype using that mold, and then testing a bunch of materials and do durability tests and comfortability tests in order to find the right material to make these custom orthotics. Here are the references.
Continued references.
Any questions?